Every morning, Maki walks into school unnoticed. No friends, no conversations, just another face in the crowd. But today is different. While he passes through the hallway, Uemami, the prettiest girl in the class, walks by with her group. Right behind her is Umi, the second prettiest girl. She is calm, elegant, and just as admired. For a brief second, Umi turns and smiles at him. No one notices, but Maki does. Because hidden behind that simple smile is a secret, they're already messaging each other. On the first day of class, their homeroom teacher Mikiyagi asks everyone to fill out personal profile sheets. It's supposed to be simple, until she randomly picks one to read aloud. It's Maki's. The room suddenly feels too big, too quiet. He stands awkwardly as his answers are read out. He spends weekends alone, playing games while his mother is out. He likes shark movies, alligator movies, things no one else really cares about. A few students react, but most lose interest quickly, except one person, Umi. She listens. Then comes Yu's turn. Bright, confident, and full of energy, she owns the room instantly. She talks about her past, her unique hair, and casually reveals she transferred schools with her best friend. Then she hugs Umi. The message is clear. These two are untouchable. Umi introduces herself next, calm and graceful. Within minutes, the class is already drawn to them. Everyone knows it. They're the center of attention now. And Maki, still invisible. Days pass. Yu and Umi easily blend into school life, surrounded by laughter and friends. Meanwhile, Maki eats alone, walks home alone, lives alone in his own quiet world. He tells himself it's fine. But when he sees groups of friends laughing together, he can't help but wonder what that feels like. One afternoon, he overhears Yu inviting Umi to hang out. Umi refuses. She says she wants to watch a movie instead. When Yu sees the movie, she loses interest immediately. It's strange, not her type at all. But Maki notices something important. That movie is exactly his kind of movie. For the first time, he feels like someone out there might actually understand him. Later that day, inside a video rental shop, Maki reaches for a movie and accidentally bumps into someone. It's Umi. Their first real conversation begins here. At first, it's awkward. Maki tries to keep things short, but Umi doesn't leave. Instead, she smiles and says something unexpected. She came here to talk to him. To prove it, she shows him her profile sheet. Many of her answers match his, but she admits the truth. She changed them. After hearing him speak in class, she realized she related to him more than she expected. Maki is stunned. No one has ever done something like that for him before. She asks him to recommend a movie. He does. She laughs at the cover but listens seriously. As they talk, something slowly changes. Maki, who can barely hold a conversation, starts to relax. And when Umi mentions she likes a movie he loves, that's it. That's the moment everything shifts. For the first time in a long while, Maki makes a friend. Now, that secret friendship has grown. Umi casually visits Maki's apartment like it's the most natural thing in the world. She brings snacks, guesses his food order perfectly, and makes herself at home. They play games together for hours. Umi confidently says she'll win. She doesn't. Not even close. She loses again and again, getting more frustrated each time, while Maki quietly enjoys himself. Still, they laugh, argue, and keep playing like it never matters who wins. Later, while cleaning up, Umi teases him for staring at her. He panics, tries to explain, and only makes it worse. She laughs, pokes his stomach, then suddenly tickles him just to see his reaction. It's playful, comfortable, real. Before leaving, she pauses and says something that changes everything again. Let's go out on Friday. Not stay inside, not play games. Go out, like normal high school students. Maki freezes. Outside? With her? Just the two of them? Umi explains she wants him to experience real life. Shopping, eating out, having fun. She even admits she feels bad always coming to his place. So this time, she'll take him out. Maki hesitates. Not because he doesn't want to go, but because of one thing. What if someone sees us? Their friendship is a secret. Umi just smiles. She throws one last joke over her shoulder. If we get caught, we'll just say we're dating. Maki turns red instantly. She's already gone. At home, Maki tells his mother Masaki about his plans. Her reaction? Shock. She thinks he's being bullied. When he explains the truth that he actually has a friend, her expression completely changes. Relief, happiness, pride. She gives him extra money without hesitation. For her, this moment means everything. Her son is no longer alone. The next day, Maki and Umi message each other. She jokes that he should pay for everything. He refuses, insisting they split the cost. At school, nothing has changed on the surface. Umi laughs with her friends, talks like normal, acts like Maki doesn't exist. But behind her back, she secretly signals to him, a small, hidden gesture, a reminder their connection is still there. Later during lunch, Maki sits alone as usual. Then he hears something, Umi's voice. He looks over and sees her talking to a senior student. Not wanting to get involved, he quickly gathers his things to leave, but suddenly, Yu and Nina appear out of nowhere. They've noticed too, and they're excited. They want to watch. Before Maki can even respond, they grab him and pull him into hiding with them. And just as they expected, the senior finally speaks and asks Umi out. Hidden nearby, Maki, Yu, and Nina watch in silence. Umi doesn't hesitate. She turns him down. Calm, direct. No room for misunderstanding. The senior pushes a little further, asking if she already likes someone else. Umi pauses, then says no. From the shadows, Nina sighs in relief. She already knew the answer. The guy has a reputation for being a player. Even Yu admits he once asked her out too. For Maki, this whole moment feels strange. He's not used to being part of something like this. Watching, listening, being pulled into other people's lives. Umi quickly leaves, clearly not wanting to stay any longer. The others follow. But just before leaving, Yu suddenly grabs Maki's phone and saves her number. Maki freezes. Now he's not just hiding one secret. He's hiding many. Later, at Maki's apartment, Umi is already there like always. Comfortable, relaxed, like she belongs. Maki brings up what happened earlier. He admits he overheard the confession and apologizes. Umi brushes it off. Then the conversation shifts. She asks if she is popular. Maki thinks about it. Of course she is. Maybe not as much as you, but still, she's someone everyone notices. Days pass, and suddenly it's Friday, the day of their not a date. At school, Umi awkwardly tries to leave early, making excuses to her friends. She is clearly excited, even if she tries to hide it. Nina immediately teases her, suggesting she might have a boyfriend. Yu looks slightly worried. Umi shuts it down quickly, but her reaction says enough. At the station, Maki waits nervously, adjusting his clothes and overthinking everything. Then, Umi arrives. For a second, Maki doesn't recognize her. She is dressed casually, simple, natural, different from her usual school image, and somehow even more beautiful. She notices his all-black outfit and laughs, teasing his terrible fashion sense, before casually mentioning he should dress better next time. The words linger in his mind. There is going to be a next time. They start their day together at a shop filled with anime goods. It is Maki's kind of place, not Umi's usual scene, but she enjoys it because she is with him. As they walk, Umi suddenly complains about his formality. She wants him to speak casually, without distance or politeness. Maki struggles, but agrees on one condition: she has to call him by his first name too. Umi looks away, embarrassed, saying not yet. Still, something shifts. They become more relaxed, more natural. They stop for lunch, keeping things simple with burgers and fries. They talk about movies again, and Umi brings up a ridiculous one about a flying shark with angel wings. The G is terrible, and the story makes no sense, but Maki is instantly interested. Umi suggests they watch it together next time. Again, that phrase lingers. Next time. Maki hesitates, asking if it is really okay. Umi simply reminds him that Fridays are free. At a nearby table, some girls from school start whispering about Umi, judging her and questioning her image. Umi hears everything and suddenly smiles. She leans forward and asks Maki to help her. Before he can react, she raises her voice and acts like they are on a date, prompting him to play along. Awkwardly, he does. The girls quickly lose interest, convinced it cannot be her. It works. But Umi is not entirely happy, and Maki gently stops her from escalating things as they leave. To lighten the mood, they head to an arcade where everything feels easy again. They play games, laugh, and compete. Umi manages to hit a baseball while Maki misses completely. For once, he is the one losing, and he does not mind at all. As the day ends, Maki reflects on how unreal everything feels. Then suddenly, Yu and her friends appear in front of him. Panic sets in. Nina barely recognizes him, while Yu innocently invites him to join them, unaware of the tension. Maki quickly realizes the truth behind their reaction and understands why Umi keeps her world separate. So he makes a choice. He politely refuses, explaining that forcing himself into their group would only ruin the mood. Then he runs. At the station, he meets Umi again and she thanks him. For the first time, she opens up about her past, about being surrounded by people yet never truly understood. That is why she approached him, because she believed he might understand. On the train, they quietly argue over a seat until Maki gives in. Umi apologizes for earlier, but he reassures her. She smiles, gently patting his head and encouraging him to rest. As he drifts off, she softly says his name, trying something new. Monday arrives, and everything nearly falls apart. Yu approaches Maki in front of the class and apologizes loudly. The room goes silent. Whispers spread. The secret begins to crack. After school, Maki ends up walking with both Umi and Yu, carefully maintaining appearances. Nina secretly follows them, and when she is discovered, they all run. Maki grabs Yu's hand and pulls her along before splitting up, running with Umi. Eventually, they regroup at Maki's apartment, where there is no escaping the truth. Everything is revealed. The secret friendship, the lies, the hiding. Umi listens, then lightly taps both their foreheads in quiet punishment. She is not angry, only slightly hurt. Yu apologizes sincerely, and Maki does the same, explaining that he struggles with groups and only wanted to protect what he already had. Yu understands, realizing how much that friendship means to him. Both Maki and Umi blush. Umi tries to move past the moment, but Yu steps forward, extends her hand and asks Maki to be friends. Maki steps into class next morning, expecting another quiet day. But before he can even sit down, Yu, the prettiest girl in school, walks straight up to him and greets him like it's completely normal. Maki barely manages to respond. Then, Umi joins them. Her eyes move between the two, sharp and curious. She questions when Yu started calling him by his first name. Yu smiles brightly and explains they talked things out and are now friends. The room erupts into whispers. No one believes it. Why would someone like Yu ever be friends with someone like Maki? Even Nina tries to push for answers, but Yu dodges every question. Meanwhile, Maki quietly checks his phone. A message from Umi appears, apologizing for Yu's behavior. Just like that, his peaceful life is gone. At lunch, things get even stranger. Maki ends up leading both Yu and Umi to a hidden spot, his usual place for quiet meals. Now, instead of silence, he sits with the two most popular girls in class. Earlier, Yu had suddenly asked to eat with him. Umi noticed his discomfort and stepped in, but instead of stopping it, Yu invited her too. Now the three of them sit together in an unexpected scene. Yu immediately notices Maki's lunch. It looks homemade and carefully prepared. She asks about it with surprise, and Maki confirms he made it himself since his mother Masaki is often busy. Yu eagerly asks to trade food, and Umi watches closely before trying a bite of his omelet. Her reaction is instant. It is genuinely good. For a brief moment, Umi seems almost unsure of herself. Maki's quiet skill reveals something new. The conversation continues, and Yu becomes even more excited when Maki casually mentions he also makes sweets, including a successful banana souffle pancake. Yu is amazed, finding it hard to believe. Maki brushes it off as easier than it sounds, but Yu immediately wants to try it. Without hesitation, she asks to visit his home after school and invites Umi along. Maki pauses briefly before agreeing. Yu rushes off to buy drinks, leaving Maki and Umi alone. Umi watches Yu leave and quietly comments that Yu is a good person. Maki agrees, beginning to see it for himself. But Umi adds a quiet warning. Being close to someone like Yu brings attention, rumors, and pressure. Maki does not seem concerned. He has always been an outsider. Still, Umi tells him to let her know if anything happens, aware of how unpredictable things can become. After school, they arrive at Maki's apartment, where he prepares the banana souffle pancakes. The moment Yu takes a bite, her expression changes completely. Umi tries them as well, and both are visibly impressed. Yu admits she struggles with cooking, often failing even simple recipes. Umi laughs, recalling a past disaster involving chocolates. During the conversation, Maki learns they both attended an all-girls school before transferring, explaining their close bond. Soon, they move on to games. Yu picks up the controller for the first time and improves quickly, too quickly. She discovers a strong move and manages to defeat Umi, then Maki as well. Even Maki finds it impressive. As he and Yu laugh together, Umi quietly observes. Something about the space between them feels slightly unfamiliar, as if something subtle has shifted. Later that evening, As the girls prepare to leave, Yu suddenly remembers she wants to treat Maki next time. Umi suggests she simply ask him. Yu calls him directly and asks if he is free on Friday. Maki responds that he already has plans. Yu is surprised but accepts it. Standing beside her, Umi feels a quiet tension in her chest, knowing exactly what those plans are. Without saying anything further, Umi turns back and rushes to Maki's apartment. When he opens the door, she appears flustered and out of breath. Before he can react, she steps forward and pinches his nose, telling him she will see him tomorrow. Then she runs off, leaving him confused by the sudden moment. The next day, things return to normal. Umi is back at Maki's apartment, relaxed as ever. They play games, talk about manga, and spend time quietly. At one point, Maki mentions buying the final volume of a romance series. Umi immediately loses interest in the game and suggests they read it together. They sit side by side, turning page after page until they reach the ending, both quietly emotional. Not satisfied, Umi wants to start again from the beginning. They spend hours reading together, completely absorbed. Eventually, Maki gets up to make coffee, but when he returns, he finds Umi asleep on his bed, peaceful and at ease. He watches her briefly before sitting beside her, and before long, he falls asleep as well. Time passes until a voice wakes him. Still half asleep, Maki assumes it is Umi, but when he opens his eyes, he sees his mother Masaki. She looks at him, then at the girl sleeping nearby. Silence fills the room before she calmly asks for an explanation. After everything is explained, Masaki contacts Umi's parents. When the call ends, she smiles, and it is decided that Umi will stay the night. Umi takes a shower, but the spare clothes do not fit, leaving her to wear Maki's clothes instead. When she returns, he is caught off guard by how different she looks, more relaxed, more natural. He decides to sleep in the living room, but Umi stops him and asks him to stay and talk. They sit together, joking lightly before Maki brings up whether they should tell Yu the truth about their hidden friendship. Umi considers it carefully before deciding not yet. She wants to choose the right moment. Maki accepts this without hesitation. That night, as he prepares to leave, Umi quietly wishes him good night, admitting she felt nervous saying it. Maki feels the weight of the moment, realizing how meaningful such a simple exchange has become. The next day, Maki visits Umi's home to apologize. Her mother, Sora, welcomes him warmly, showing clear interest and teasing curiosity. She already knows about him and seems pleased. Umi tries to stop her, embarrassed, but Sora continues, joking about their relationship. Umi reacts instantly, flustered, while Maki struggles to respond. In the end, Sora simply asks him to take care of her, and Maki agrees without hesitation. Back at school, the class prepares for the upcoming sports festival, but no one volunteers for roles, leading to a random draw. Maki is selected, and the reaction is immediate. Complaints, laughter, and dismissive remarks. Some students suggest whoever is paired with him will have to take care of him. Even Nina feels uncomfortable with the reaction. Umi remains silent, though internally she is clearly upset. Then the girls draw their lots. One by one, they avoid the role until Yu steps forward. She looks around the room and asks a simple question about why everyone dislikes Maki so much, and the class falls silent. She then directly asks the teacher if she can join the executive committee because she wants to work alongside Maki. Although the teacher prefers to follow the lottery system without exceptions, she asks Maki for his opinion, and he calmly says he has no objections. Meanwhile, Umi draws and reveals that she got selected in the lottery and says whoever draws the lot gets the job. Yu argues that she said she would volunteer, but Umi quickly stops her, realizing she is reacting emotionally after seeing Maki being put on the spot. Umi tells her that her apology should be directed to the entire class, not just one person. Yu apologizes to everyone, including Maki, and he assures her that he was never upset. After that is settled, Umi finalizes the committee lineup, and it will comprise her and Maki. They sit down, and Maki praises Umi for handling the earlier situation well, but Umi insists that Yu deserves the credit. She points out that Yu ignored the atmosphere in the room and stood up for someone important to her without hesitation, something that even left an impression on Maki. After school, Yu thanks Umi for stepping in earlier, admitting she might have made things worse if she had continued arguing. Umi, however, thanks Yu for defending her. The next day, as class representative, Umi announces that their class will hold an exhibition during the cultural festival. Although the maid calf proposal was rejected, she encourages everyone by suggesting that successful cooperation could earn them permission to wear cosplay. The idea quickly motivates the class, and when she asks for suggestions, Maki proposes creating a large large mosaic made from recycled cans. Afterward, Maki thanks Umi for being his partner and jokes that working with Yu would have been exhausting because of her intensity. Umi laughs before admitting that she secretly manipulated the lottery to secure her position beside him. Although surprised, Maki chooses not to make an issue of it and quietly accepts her decision. The following day, the group begins collecting and sorting cans for the project. While testing different designs, they worry that the mosaic looks too simple, but Maki decides they should move forward. During the work, Yu complains about how dirty many of the cans are, but the mood lightens when she notices a manga and volunteers to draw its cover. Her finished artwork impresses everyone and reveals a talent they never expected. Watching Yu effortlessly display such skill makes Umi feel insecure about her own abilities. Still, she pushes those feelings aside and continues managing the project, and as the group spends more time together, they also reflect on how unfairly they treated Maki in the past and decide to support him more sincerely moving forward. Maki continues working on the mosaic and struggles to convert Yu's illustration into a proper can art design. Needing another perspective, he invites Umi to his apartment to help him finish the project. The two make steady progress before taking a short break to play video games together. However, the relaxed atmosphere is interrupted when Yu unexpectedly discovers them hanging out alone. Hurt that Umi kept the meeting a secret, she confronts her friend. But Umi refuses to explain herself and quietly leaves. Although everyone acts normal the next day, the tension remains. Realizing that Umi has been avoiding him, Maki asks to speak with her privately. Umi explains that her relationship with Maki should remain secret for now, and admits she has been struggling with feelings she is not ready to discuss. When Maki assures her that he will not pressurize her, she stops him from leaving and hugs him from behind. She tells him that his kindness is one of his greatest strengths, but also something that can be exploited. Admitting that she may be acting selfishly herself, she asks whether he will listen when she is finally ready to tell him everything. Maki agrees, and Umi asks him to wait until after the festival so she can sort out her feelings. She also promises to talk to Yu about everything that has been happening. The cultural festival ends successfully. The completed mosaic is a success, and afterward, Maki and Umi spend time together, with Maki even taking her hand. Later, Yu brings several girls from her former school to see the exhibit, but the visit takes an unexpected turn when Umi refuses to call them her friends. Sensing the confusion around her reaction, Umi begins opening up about her past and the complicated feelings she has been carrying for a long time.
And that is it for today. If you enjoyed this recap, please subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and feel free to write whatever you want in the comments section. Thank you for watching.